Chosen one, your mother's account had dollars. Someone from your own house took it. Check everyone immediately before it's too late. My child, my beloved, listen carefully now. This message is not coming in haste, but it is coming with purpose. What you have been feeling is not imagination. It is awareness rising within you after a long period of silence. Something connected to your mother, something built through years of patience, sacrifice, and quiet strength, has been disturbed. There was an account and there were dollars tied to it. The hands that reached for it did not come from strangers outside your life. They came from within your own house, and that is why this feels heavy. My child, my beloved, understand this clearly without fear. This did not happen suddenly or loudly. It happened quietly through access and familiarity, and through the belief that family would never be questioned. Trust was used as cover and silence was used as protection. The one who did this assumed no one would look closely and assumed love would block accountability. But heaven does not overlook a mother's sacrifice. Every tear she swallowed and every comfort she gave up so others could feel secure was seen. When that energy was violated, it was marked and balance began to shift. This is why this message comes now and not later. Delay allows confusion, and delay allows stories to change. You are not being called to panic or react emotionally. You are being called to act with clarity and awareness. Calm observation is your strength here, and avoidance will cost more than truth ever will. My child, my beloved, do not rush to accuse anyone directly. Observation must come first. Watch reactions when money is mentioned and notice who becomes uncomfortable or defensive. Notice who diverts the conversation or suddenly tries to control the narrative. Guilt often hides behind over-explanation, and patterns reveal more than words when you remain calm. Understand this also. The one responsible has already justified their actions internally. They told themselves it was needed or temporary, or that it would be fixed later. But unchecked actions grow bolder, and silence is often mistaken for permission. This is why clarity is required now. My child, my beloved, check everything carefully and methodically. Look at statements, access points, timing, and devices without anger or accusation. Facts speak clearly when emotions remain steady. When truth begins to surface, resistance may appear. You may be told you are overthinking or creating unnecessary tension. This is deflection, and it should not distract you from what you know. My child, my beloved, there may be more than one person aware of what happened. Silence can also carry responsibility. This situation is not here to destroy your peace but to restore balance. You were chosen because you can face truth without losing your integrity. Act with wisdom and timing. Do not look away from what your spirit already recognizes. Real peace comes after truth stands in the light, and this is the moment that light begins to rise. My child, my beloved, stay with these words a little longer, because what unfolds next requires patience, awareness, and inner steadiness, not haste and not fear. You are not reading this by accident, and you are not meant to skim past it. There is a reason your attention keeps returning, a reason your mind feels alert even while your body wants rest. Something beneath the surface is asking to be acknowledged, and once acknowledged, it will begin to lose its power over you. My child, my beloved, there is often a moment when truth stands at the door quietly, not knocking loudly, not forcing itself inside, just waiting to be noticed. This is that moment. The imbalance that entered your home did not arrive to punish you, but to expose what was already unstable. Money was only the symbol. Control, entitlement, and silence were the deeper roots. When someone takes without honesty from a mother's provision, it is not only a financial act, it is an energetic breach. That is why your chest felt tight without explanation. That is why conversations felt heavier. That is why laughter felt forced. Energy reacts before logic ever does. My child, my beloved, you must understand that the person who crossed this boundary is not unaware of what they did. They may act normal. They may act loving. They may even act protective. But inside, there is tension. Inside, there is calculation. Inside, there is the fear of being seen. This is why calm observation matters. When you are calm, the truth becomes impatient. Lies need constant maintenance. Truth simply waits. My child, my beloved, do not underestimate the power of timing. You do not need to confront immediately. You need to understand completely. Watch how behavior shifts when accountability is near. Watch who avoids eye contact when certain topics arise. Watch who suddenly becomes controlling about information. These are not coincidences. These are signals. Your role is not to react to them emotionally, but to collect them quietly until clarity forms a full picture. There may be moments when doubt tries to creep in. You may question whether you are imagining things. You may wonder if you are being too sensitive. This is where many people lose their footing. Do not dismiss your discernment just because it makes others uncomfortable. Intuition does not scream. It nudges. And it has been nudging you consistently for a reason. My child, my beloved, understand this deeply. When family boundaries are crossed, the wound cuts deeper because trust was assumed, not earned. But trust without boundaries becomes vulnerability. This moment is teaching you how to protect without hardening your heart. You are learning how to stand without becoming aggressive. This is growth, even if it feels heavy right now. There will be a temptation to keep the peace by staying silent. That temptation will feel noble, mature, and selfless. But false peace always collects interest. It costs more later. Silence now may protect comfort temporarily, but it invites repetition. Clarity, even when uncomfortable, interrupts cycles. This is not about revenge. This is about prevention. My child, my beloved, if confrontation becomes necessary, it must come from grounded certainty, not emotional overflow. Truth spoken calmly carries authority. Truth shouted in anger invites defense. Choose your posture wisely. You are not asking for permission to seek clarity. You are exercising responsibility. Also know this. Your mother's energy is protected. What was taken does not define the final outcome. Restoration does not always come the way you expect, but it does come when truth is honored. Heaven does not rush, but it does not forget. Nothing that was built with sacrifice is ever dismissed. My child, my beloved, there may be resistance not only from the one involved, but from others who fear disruption. They may encourage you to let it go. They may tell you it is not worth it. Remember this. Healing often looks like disruption before it looks like peace. Exposure feels chaotic before it feels clean. You are not here to carry guilt that does not belong to you. You are not responsible for choices others made in secrecy. Your responsibility is to respond with wisdom now that awareness has arrived. That is all. My child, my beloved, breathe through this process. Do not isolate yourself emotionally. Do not rush your conclusions. Let facts line up. Let behavior speak. Let time reveal what words try to hide. You are supported more than you realize. Guidance is already around you, steady, calm, and clear. Stay present. Stay observant. Stay grounded. This moment is not here to break you. It is here to sharpen you. And when this chapter settles, you will look back and realize that what felt like tension was actually protection activating itself in your life. My child, my beloved, stay with me and do not drift away now, because what is being unfolded is meant to keep your awareness sharp and your spirit awake, not heavy and not tired. This is not a story to pass time. This is a moment of recognition. The reason your attention has not settled lately is because something unresolved has been calling for truth. When matters of trust arise inside one's own home, the soul reacts first, long before the mind accepts what it already knows. My child, my beloved, understand this layer clearly. Money is never just money. It carries intention, effort, memory, and sacrifice. When it comes from a mother's hands, it carries protection and provision. When someone reaches for it dishonestly, they are not only taking currency, they are crossing an energetic boundary. That is why this situation feels personal even if no words have been spoken yet. That is why your body has been tense without clear reason. Energy recognizes imbalance before logic forms conclusions. My child, my beloved, the one who acted did not expect awareness to awaken this way. They relied on routine and familiarity. They relied on emotional comfort zones. They believed no one would question patterns that had always been trusted. But truth has a way of surfacing when silence has done its work long enough. Silence does not erase truth. It stores it. And stored truth eventually demands release. You may notice subtle shifts now. Tone changes. Small irritations. Attempts to control conversations. Attempts to create distraction or sympathy. These are not random. When someone fears exposure, they unconsciously create noise. Calm becomes uncomfortable for them. This is why you must remain calm. Calm makes the guilty restless. Calm invites truth to reveal itself. My child, my beloved, there may be moments when compassion tries to override clarity. You may feel tempted to excuse behavior because of shared history or emotional bonds. Compassion is not blindness. Compassion with boundaries is wisdom. You are not required to abandon truth to prove love. Love that demands silence in the face of dishonesty is not protection. It is permission. This experience is shaping you. It is sharpening discernment. It is teaching you how to hold your ground without raising your voice. This is a skill many never learn. You are learning it now. That is why this moment feels intense. Growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. My child, my beloved, remember this. The truth does not need you to force it forward. It needs you to stop blocking it. When you stop over-explaining. When you stop compensating emotionally. When you stop carrying discomfort that does not belong to you. That is when clarity moves freely. You may also realize something important. Your role is not to rescue anyone from the consequences of their actions. Your role is to stand aligned with integrity. Everyone is responsible for their own choices. Carrying guilt for others weakens your own boundaries. You were not chosen to carry unnecessary weight. If confrontation happens, let it come from steadiness. Let it come when facts are clear and your emotions are settled. Truth spoken with steadiness carries authority. Truth spoken with chaos invites conflict. Choose the posture that protects you. My child, my beloved, there is protection around your mother. What was taken does not define what remains. Provision is not limited to one source. What is built on sacrifice attracts restoration. Nothing sincere is ever truly lost. Exposure is often the first step toward balance being restored. There may be voices around you urging you to let it go. They may value comfort over clarity. That is their choice. Your path requires courage. Courage does not always look loud. Often it looks quiet, steady, and unwavering. Do not rush the process. Do not stall it either. Let timing guide you. Watch. Observe. Confirm. Then act with precision. This is how cycles end without creating new wounds. My child, my beloved, breathe through this. You are not alone in discernment. You are not unsupported in awareness. What feels heavy now will feel lighter once truth is acknowledged. Peace does not come from pretending nothing happened. Peace comes from knowing exactly where you stand. Stay present. Stay clear. Stay grounded. This moment is not meant to drain you. It is meant to mature you. And when clarity settles, you will recognize that what once felt unsettling was actually guidance rising to protect what matters most. My child, my beloved, remain steady and do not let your focus slip, because what is happening now is not meant to overwhelm you but to awaken a deeper level of understanding inside you. There are moments in life when truth does not arrive as a single revelation but as a slow unfolding, layer by layer, so that your heart can keep up with what your spirit already knows. This is one of those moments. You are being trained to see clearly without becoming hardened, to recognize deception without losing compassion, and to protect what is sacred without turning cold. My child, my beloved, there is a reason this situation surfaced when it did. Timing is never random. Had this been revealed earlier, you might not have had the maturity to handle it without breaking relationships unnecessarily. Had it been revealed later, the damage could have gone deeper. You are standing exactly where you need to be, equipped with discernment rather than impulse. This is not luck. This is preparation meeting reality. As you move through this, you may feel waves of emotion rising and falling. One moment you may feel calm and clear. The next moment you may feel anger or sadness trying to surface. Let those emotions pass through you without letting them drive you. Emotion is information, not instruction. You are allowed to feel, but you are not required to react from those feelings. Strength is not the absence of emotion. Strength is mastery over it. My child, my beloved, remember that truth has a weight to it. When it is hidden, that weight presses inward, creating tension and confusion. When it is acknowledged, even silently, that weight begins to lift. This is why awareness itself already feels like relief, even before anything has been spoken out loud. You are no longer in the dark. And darkness loses power the moment light enters, even a little. There will be moments when you're tempted to rush the process just to get it over with. Resist that urge. Clarity rushed can become chaos. Let understanding mature fully before action follows. Think of this as assembling a puzzle. Each piece matters. When you force pieces together that do not yet fit, the picture becomes distorted. Patience now saves regret later. My child, my beloved, you may also notice your own growth reflected back at you through others. Situations like this often reveal who is emotionally mature and who is still operating from fear, entitlement, or avoidance. Do not judge harshly. Observation does not require condemnation. Simply note what is revealed and let it inform how you move forward. Understand this deeply. Boundaries are not walls meant to punish others. Boundaries are doors that protect peace. You are learning where those doors need to exist. Some may need to be reinforced. Some may need to be newly installed. This does not mean you love less. It means you love wisely. My child, my beloved, if you ever feel alone in this process, remember that clarity itself is companionship. When you are aligned with truth, you are never unsupported. Guidance often arrives quietly, through inner knowing, through timing, through small confirmations that you cannot ignore. Pay attention to those confirmations. They are reassurance. There is also a lesson here about self-trust. You are being shown that your perceptions are valid. That you do not need constant external validation to know when something is off. This confidence will serve you far beyond this moment. It will protect you in decisions, relationships, and paths you have not even reached yet. My child, my beloved, do not let guilt take root where it does not belong. You did not create this situation. You are simply responding to it. Responsibility and blame are not the same. Carry only what is yours. Leave the rest where it belongs. As this chapter continues to unfold, you may find that conversations naturally shift. Opportunities for honesty may arise without force. Pay attention to those openings. Sometimes truth wants to be spoken, but it needs safety to emerge. Your calm presence can create that safety without a single word being demanded. My child, my beloved, whatever outcome comes from this will not leave you diminished. You may lose illusions, but you will gain clarity. You may lose comfort, but you will gain stability. Nothing real is taken from you in this process. Only what was fragile or false begins to fall away. Stay grounded in your values. Stay aligned with integrity. Let your actions reflect wisdom rather than urgency. This moment is shaping you into someone who can handle truth without being shaken by it. That is power. And remember this above all. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of alignment. When you are aligned with truth, with boundaries, and with self-respect, peace follows naturally, even if the path there feels uncomfortable at first. This is not the end of your stability. This is the beginning of a stronger one. My child, my beloved, stay present and do not let your mind wander now, because this phase you are in is not about speed, it is about steadiness. Many people think strength shows up as loud action, but real strength shows up as restraint, awareness, and correct timing. You are learning that now. What is unfolding is not meant to exhaust you. It is meant to elevate your perception. Once perception rises, confusion loses its grip. My child, my beloved, notice how your inner voice has become clearer lately. You are less easily convinced by words alone. You are more attentive to behavior, to tone, to pauses, to what is not said. This is discernment growing. Discernment does not accuse. It observes. It does not rush. It waits until the picture is complete. This is why you must not doubt yourself in moments of quiet. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is information gathering itself. You may realize that this situation has also revealed something about your own role in the family dynamic. Perhaps you have been the one who absorbs tension to keep others comfortable. Perhaps you have been the one who avoids difficult conversations to maintain surface harmony. This moment is teaching you that harmony built on silence is fragile. True stability can handle truth without collapsing. My child, my beloved, there is also a lesson here about responsibility. Not everyone carries responsibility the same way. Some avoid it. Some hide from it. Some transfer it onto others. You are being shown who stands firm when accountability appears and who dissolves into excuses. This knowledge is valuable. It is not meant to harden you. It is meant to inform your future decisions. As time moves forward, you may feel a shift in how you relate to certain people. This does not mean love disappears. It means clarity replaces illusion. You can care without surrendering your boundaries. You can remain respectful without being naive. This balance is rare. You are learning it firsthand. My child, my beloved, do not underestimate how much courage it takes to stay calm when truth is uncomfortable. Many people choose denial because it feels easier in the short term. You chose awareness. Awareness carries weight, but it also carries freedom. Once you see clearly, you are no longer controlled by confusion or guilt. There may be moments when you wish you had never noticed anything at all. That is normal. Awareness initially feels heavier than ignorance. But ignorance always costs more in the end. What feels heavy now will feel light later when you realize you are no longer guessing. Certainty, even when difficult, is grounding. My child, my beloved, remember that every situation that tests your integrity is also refining it. You are becoming someone who does not betray themselves for comfort. Someone who does not ignore inner knowing to avoid discomfort. This will serve you in ways you cannot yet see. When the time comes to speak, speak simply. Do not over-explain. Do not justify your need for clarity. You do not owe long speeches to anyone. Calm questions often reveal more than emotional statements. Let others reveal themselves through their responses. You do not need to force outcomes. Also understand this. Not every truth leads to confrontation. Sometimes truth leads to quiet adjustment. Sometimes it leads to changed access, changed expectations, changed boundaries. Action does not always look dramatic. Often it looks practical. My child, my beloved, there is protection in being observant rather than reactive. Reaction gives power away. Observation keeps power centered. You are learning to keep your center steady regardless of what others do. This is mastery. As this chapter continues, you may feel a strange sense of growth underneath the discomfort. That is because you are no longer operating blindly. You are awake. Awakening is rarely comfortable, but it is always transformative. Hold your composure. Trust your awareness. Respect your inner signals. You are not here to fix everyone. You are here to stand in truth. When you do that, everything that belongs in your life aligns naturally, and everything that does not begins to fall away without force. My child, my beloved, this is not a setback. This is refinement. This is not loss. This is recalibration. And when this season settles, you will recognize that the very thing that tried to disturb your peace actually strengthened your foundation. Stay grounded. Stay clear. Stay aligned. You are exactly where you need to be. My child, my beloved, remain attentive and do not allow familiarity to dull your awareness, because this stage is where many lose momentum by assuming they already understand what is happening. Understanding is still unfolding. Each day you stay observant without becoming reactive, your clarity sharpens. You are learning how to stand in truth without turning it into a weapon. This is rare strength. Most either explode or retreat. You are doing neither. You are stabilizing. My child, my beloved, notice how situations around you are subtly rearranging themselves. Conversations feel different. Certain people feel closer, others feel distant. This is not coincidence. Alignment creates natural movement. What resonates with honesty draws near. What depends on secrecy becomes uncomfortable. You do not need to force separation. Truth does that on its own. There is also something important happening within you. Your tolerance for confusion is decreasing. You no longer feel comfortable accepting half answers or vague explanations. This is growth. You are stepping out of a phase where you minimized your own questions to keep peace. Peace that requires self-silencing is not peace. It is postponement. My child, my beloved, remember that your calm is unsettling to those who rely on chaos or secrecy. Calm creates a mirror. In that mirror, people see themselves clearly, sometimes for the first time. Some will step up. Some will step away. Neither outcome is your responsibility. Your responsibility is to remain aligned with integrity. You may find that your patience is being tested in small ways. Delays, interruptions, subtle provocations. These are opportunities, not obstacles. Each time you choose steadiness over reaction, you reinforce your authority. Authority is not about control over others. It is about control over yourself. My child, my beloved, understand this deeply. When something is taken without honesty, it creates imbalance not only externally but internally. The one who took feels it, even if they deny it. Guilt creates restlessness. Fear creates defensiveness. That internal pressure often leaks out through behavior. This is why observation is powerful. You are watching truth surface through cracks without needing confrontation. Do not underestimate the value of time. Time reveals what words hide. Time exposes patterns that excuses try to cover. When you give situations enough time while remaining aware, clarity becomes undeniable. You are not delaying action out of fear. You are allowing understanding to mature. My child, my beloved, you may notice moments where empathy arises for the one involved. That does not invalidate your need for truth. Empathy and boundaries can exist together. Feeling compassion does not require you to sacrifice clarity. You can understand someone's struggle without excusing their actions. This balance keeps your heart open and your foundation strong. There is also a lesson here about leadership. Whether you asked for it or not, you are stepping into a role where your steadiness influences the emotional climate around you. When you remain composed, others adjust. When you refuse to be pulled into chaos, chaos loses fuel. This is influence without force. My child, my beloved, be mindful not to internalize the discomfort of others. When truth approaches, discomfort is natural. Let it stay where it belongs. You are not responsible for smoothing over emotions that arise from accountability. You are responsible for staying aligned. As this continues, you may feel moments of fatigue. That is normal. Awareness requires energy. Rest when needed. Ground yourself in simple routines. Stability in small things supports clarity in larger matters. You do not need to stay hypervigilant. You need to stay present. My child, my beloved, when the right moment comes to speak or act, it will feel clear rather than urgent. Urgency pushes. Clarity guides. Trust the difference. If something feels rushed, pause. If it feels steady, proceed. Your intuition is refined enough now to recognize the signal. There may be outcomes you did not expect. Access may change. Roles may shift. Conversations may become more honest or more distant. These are adjustments, not losses. Adjustment is how systems correct themselves. Resistance only delays correction. My child, my beloved, remember that your worth is not tied to how well you manage others' emotions. Your worth is inherent. You do not earn peace by overextending yourself. Peace follows alignment, not effort. You are also learning something valuable about self-respect. Self-respect is quiet. It does not announce itself. It simply stops accepting what violates inner standards. That quiet shift changes everything. People sense it even if they cannot name it. As days pass, you may notice that your thoughts feel clearer. Sleep becomes deeper. Decisions feel simpler. This is the effect of alignment. When you stop carrying confusion, your system relaxes. Clarity is calming. My child, my beloved, whatever resolution emerges from this will not leave you diminished. You may lose illusions, but illusions are heavy. You may lose convenience, but convenience built on silence is unstable. What remains will be solid. Do not rush to close this chapter prematurely. Let it complete its work. Lessons that are fully integrated do not need repetition. Lessons avoided return louder. Stay steady. Stay observant. Stay compassionate without abandoning yourself. This is not about winning. This is about balance being restored. And remember this. You are not walking this path alone. Even when conversations are quiet, guidance is active. Timing is aligning. Awareness is sharpening. Peace is forming, not through avoidance, but through truth finding its place. Remain grounded. Remain clear. Remain aligned. What began as discomfort is becoming strength. What began as confusion is becoming certainty. And what once threatened peace is now building a foundation that cannot be easily shaken. My child, my beloved, this is the final stretch, so stay with these words until the end, because completion brings clarity, and clarity brings peace. What you have walked through in awareness was never meant to leave you suspended. Every unfolding has a closing, and this closing is about integration, about allowing what you learn to settle into wisdom rather than remain as tension. My child, my beloved, look back gently at how far your perception has come. You are no longer reacting to every signal. You are reading situations with depth. You are listening beneath words. This did not happen overnight. It happened because you chose awareness over denial, steadiness over impulse, and truth over convenience. These choices quietly reshaped you. There is a powerful shift that occurs when you stop needing immediate answers and start trusting the process of understanding. You reached that shift. You no longer feel rushed by uncertainty. You are comfortable letting clarity arrive in its own time. This is maturity. This is inner authority. My child, my beloved, remember this lesson clearly so you do not need to relearn it later. Anything that relies on secrecy to survive is already unstable. Anything that asks you to silence yourself to keep peace is not peace. You have learned that boundaries are not punishments. They are protections. They protect relationships from resentment. They protect love from corrosion. They protect you from carrying weight that was never yours. As this chapter closes, you may notice subtle changes around you. Some connections will feel lighter. Some will feel more distant. This is natural. Alignment rearranges relationships without force. You do not need to explain or justify these shifts. Let them be what they are. My child, my beloved, there is also forgiveness here, but not the kind that bypasses truth. Real forgiveness comes after clarity, not before. Forgiveness does not mean access remains unchanged. It means your heart is no longer tied to anger. You are free to forgive without reopening doors that should remain guarded. This balance is strength. You may also feel a renewed respect for yourself. Quiet respect. The kind that does not seek approval. The kind that knows when to step forward and when to step back. This self-respect will guide you long after this situation fades into memory. My child, my beloved, understand this deeply. Nothing that is truly meant for you can be taken from you. What was built with sincerity carries resilience. What belongs to you will find you again, sometimes in unexpected forms. Loss teaches discernment. Discernment preserves abundance. As life moves forward, you will encounter moments that resemble this one, smaller or larger. When they come, you will recognize the pattern sooner. You will trust yourself faster. You will act with less inner conflict. This is the gift of this experience. Do not carry this story as a wound. Carry it as wisdom. Wounds reopen. Wisdom guides. You have gained wisdom. My child, my beloved, there is peace waiting on the other side of completion. Not the peace of avoidance, but the peace of alignment. The peace that comes from knowing you did not abandon yourself. The peace that settles when truth no longer feels threatening. Take a breath here. Let your shoulders soften. Let the need to analyze release. You have done what was required. Awareness was raised. Lessons were learned. Boundaries were clarified. That is enough. You are not responsible for fixing everything. You are responsible for staying aligned. And alignment has been restored. My child, my beloved, as this message ends, allow yourself to move forward without carrying vigilance. Awareness does not require tension. You can be alert and relaxed at the same time. Trust that you will recognize what you need to recognize when you need to recognize it. This chapter is complete. This lesson is integrated. This season is closing. Remain grounded. Remain clear. Remain true to yourself. And now, you may rest.